Oh, thank you guys.
We are proud of anybody that comes around here and gets, anything like that. So we're super happy for you. And tell us a little bit real quick just about like what to expect with that. And we obviously want to hear about how you even got to that point. But
hopefully everyone watched it already as a precursor.
Well, it's been out for 1 hour. Is that right?
It's been out for 55 minutes.
Right.
And no, I appreciate you having me. By the way, I wanted to do this so badly. Mike and I were texting back and forth. We have each other's numbers, and he was like, hey, when can you do it? And I'm like, oh God, like it was supposed to air at 8. You guys want to record at 8, so I moved it up by an hour so I could do this because that's the commitment that I have.
That's the power.
To the
That's
City Pigeons.
City Pigeons star power.
Oh, that's the bump. Yeah, the City Pigeons bump that we're all.
We appreciate it, though.
Oh, I appreciate it. Are you kidding? So
okay, so we have, I believe, tweeted and put on Instagram links to the special, Daddy Longlegs. And if you get a chance, check it out. Not right now. Like, watch this, then after.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
If you can multitask, watch both at the same time.
Maybe you can.
Right.
I don't know.
They sync up. If you take mushrooms, they will sync up.
It's like watching The Wizard of Oz and listening to Led Zeppelin at the same time.
It's exactly what happens. No, there's a buzzard monkeys flying around, whatever was happening in The Wizard of Oz.
Strange.
That was Wizard of Oz. It was a very strange movie,
I actually played one of those in the school play.
Congratulations.
I was one of the monkeys. Thank you.
Are there video?
We don't have the video. No one had video.
I'm sure
back then.
somebody's got home video.
It's on VHS.
It's on VHS.
There's a $500 bounty for Wizard of Oz Jesse Rendell video.
I will use one of the 4. My parents down the shore house. They have like 3 stacked VHS to DVD converters. You know what I mean? That or you could play both. They never use. So I'll use one of those to get you the footage. Okay.
I love that. In terms of bounties, it's a 5th JFK assassination film, and then you performing as the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, of course.
Logical. All right, wait, but real quick,
please.
We have a lot to get into. A lot has happened.
So much.
So much has happened.
And
so
much
stressed out.
So little time. So much has happened with the City Pigeons crew over the past week. It's been nuts. So much has happened with the Phillies and with the Eagles. But real quick, I just want to hear a little bit about where you're from, how you ended up getting to where you got to. I heard somebody said you were doing stand-up when you're 15 or 16.
Yeah.
I have to hear about this because it's fascinating when somebody dedicates
Blake
their life
and Dave
to it.
Chappelle started when they were 15.
Exactly.
It is a very fun, because you're right. We're generally, when you hear if someone started when they were 15, I started when I was 15. I went to Conestoga High School in Berwyn, Pennsylvania, and started sophomore in high school. And generally, if someone starts at the age of 15 with stand-up comedy, they're either Dave Chappelle or they died 20 years ago. So generally they've been killed. So
And then there's you.
And then there's me, which is a weird medium in the middle of it. But started when I was 15 and would do horrific open mics in Philadelphia. My mom would drive me because I didn't have a driver's license. And when you first start out, you don't get the cool spots on shows. Right. You don't get to go up at 8. You go up at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. So my mom, God bless her, stuck around and would drive me home from that, and I would bomb.
Now, let me ask you: did she wait in the car, or did she actually sit in the car?
No, she was in there. She was in there. Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
that's impressive because if my mom sat in there, she'd listen to one.
She was crying.
My mom would listen to one comedian that would be like too obscene, be like, "You're 15, get out! You don't belong in this place. Come on, we're going home."
That's so funny. I think she disassociated, and but she was so supportive, so she would stay in the room. But it also, not only do I not get a good spot, you're not on a show with good comedians at that point, so it's just a bunch of just animal after animal, and kept doing it. Went to college in Boston, Emerson College, which was a big stand-up comedy school, and then Jay.
Is there a stand-up comedy major?
There is actually. Did you know that for sure? Did you hear about that?
Totally joking.
I swear to God, there is now a comedy major there.
Makes
where
sense.
Leno, Leary, most recently Eliza Schlesinger, Joe Mandy, Dan Levy, David Cross, all these
That's
so
like
many.
having a Tupac course at Cal Berkeley.
Yeah. Can you imagine failing that course where it's like, yeah, I got an F in
No,
Tupac.
they literally have a course on Tupac songs at Cal Berkeley.
Is that true?
Yeah, I didn't make
Not
that
making
up.
up.
He's an interesting guy.
I'm guessing there's probably at some of these liberal
Liberal arts.
arts colleges.
Liberal
There's
arts.
got to be like a social media influencer degree at this point. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
You
like,
can make more
any
money.
viable career path.
USC is probably.
That's
I'm
probably
they have a
right.
TikTok
That's probably
college.
right. Yeah.
It's most TikTok. I swear to there should be, right? It's as viable of a career financially, not emotionally, but financially as any other career. But yeah, I went there and then I moved to LA. I lived there for 10 years, and during COVID moved back here and split time between here and New York now. So yeah.
Nice.
So you majored in stand-up comedy, or you were like the trailblazer of this program?
I was the Damian Lillard of stand-up comedy. No,
Don't talk about that
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Is that
Let's not
is
talk
that
about Damian
no?
Lillard
Oh, are
tonight.
we now not feeling good about the Sixers prospects?
Like 2 days ago, we were. Now, because of the Dame trade.
I thought we weren't allowed to
something
talk
happened.
about the Sixers.
It's the combination of the Dame Lillard news and then another James Harden stripper event, you know, that's been widely publicized. So
I didn't hear
it's-
about this.
Wait, did
didn't see
all
it?
those
No.
comedians you mentioned go to Emerson?
All of them went to Emerson.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Boston itself was a great and continues to be a great stand-up city where, yeah, a million, like Bill Burr. Oh, sorry. Bill Burr went to Emerson, Jen Kirkman, and they were all very, I was like a precocious little boy, and I just kept being like, I remember messaging Bill Burr and being like, do you have any advice for a young man? And
What'd he say?
he was so nice. You would think with
Really?
his
Yeah.
persona, he'd be like, ah, fuck you.
you, yeah.
And what are you fucking? So he was like, yeah, I would just get on stage as much as you can and take as many public speaking courses as you can.
Right.
And I saw him right before where there's a famous clip of him
was
laying
there
into.
at-
I was
at the
there too.
Rocky at Camden
Yes.
Waterfront? Yeah, I was
yes. The whatever horrific
the Opie
venue.
and Anthony show, right?
That's what it was.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like-
Oh my gosh.
And Bill went
It was,
up.
Patrice O'Neill was there. It was a great
Wait.
show.
With Opie and Anthony, wasn't it like the WoW thing that
Yeah,
whip
whip
'em
Yeah.
out
out Wednesdays.
Whip 'em out and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's gone.
No, that's gone. Boobs are gone.
Right.
No more boobs.
more
Boobs are over.
Yeah, boobs are over. Boobs have been canceled. There's no more boobs.
Can't believe that happened.
I can't
cover
believe
them
it
up.
either. It was a long time coming. I like take the opposite point of view. I think boobs are gratuitous, but no.
Yeah, that was like a historical moment that I was just happened to be there for.
the greatest heckler reaction. Where generally when you're heckled, it's in front of an audience of.
You remember why it happened, right? Because we booed Dom Herrera.
Booed Dom Herrera, who's from Philadelphia.
From the area.
Booed.
hysterical.
Who else was on? Jim Norton, Tracy Morgan was on that show, and Bobby Kelly. All these legendary stand-up comedians. And then Bill. This was before Bill Burr was a stadium act. Like he was still doing.
Yeah.
Excuse me, like a Helium Comedy Club, 200-seat venues, and then that helped launch him, which kind of underscored his brilliance as a stand-up. Where it's like, but he is a very quick hell yeah. And if we can have a beer cracking over every time we mention the Sixers, I think, as if it's a
good
swear
idea.
word.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and then
Won't
lived
be
in
a lot
LA.
of beers cracked.
We're not going to talk about them again.
We might crack more beers with the Flyers mentioned.
Too much other good stuff going on.
That's a lot too. A lot of good stuff. But
So
yeah,
much
no,
good stuff.
moved to LA, was an extra, and then was Keegan Michael Key's assistant on Key and Peele. So I worked on that show
No
with Jordan
way.
Peele, and that was like comedy grad school, and then was able to make my way as a stand-up.
Amazing. Gosh, it sounds like a crazy life experience. I can kind of relate to like your mom because I bet your mom on the one hand was in there thinking this was the craziest thing and you were getting exposed to so many things, but you going up there and doing that, I think a lot of us have kids. When you see your kid kind of like do something that requires a lot of courage, you're like, hell yeah, so that's
that's
probably
cool.
what she was thinking.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I hope that was
Tell
the
your
same
mom
for
that
you.
I said that.
I will. Of course, I will. I will. I will.
No,
Thank
call
you.
her now.
Yeah.
No,
Can we get her?
She's asleep. But I will call her. No, she falls asleep at 8:11.
Right.
But yeah, no, I appreciate it. That's really nice. So yeah, no, it's been great. It's been great being back in Philly and film the special after I was back in Philly. Was able to go on the road for 6 months, build the material up, work it out around town. So yeah, Daddy Longlegs, YouTube.
Beautiful.
Check it out.
It's out. Yeah.
All right. Well, people,
You're
you gotta
already
check it
on
out.
YouTube right now, hopefully.
So it's
just
a
stay
it's a
on there.
similar
Yeah.
experience, except there's one person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of 4 gentlemen, 17 men.
Okay.
Have you checked the stats yet? Has anybody watched yet? Are people logged in?
Very
yet?
early, Rock.
I know it's
very
early.
No, it's a great question.
I would be worried. I'd be like, I'm checking it every second.
I've had to intentionally. It's a great question. I've had to intentionally. I can't look at it because this is a weird thing to say, and if people know me, God forbid, saying something positive about your career is generally you're opening yourself to get uppercut in the chin.
Right.
And especially like being optimistic will take years off my life. But the special itself was the best crowd I've ever been in front of. It was the best I've ever been on stage, and they happened to shoot it. So the thing itself is incredible. So I'm like, all right, I did that correctly. And now the rest of it, I'll drive myself insane if I keep looking like, why didn't this person?
I can relate
Yeah.
because recently we were doing a tailgate episode, and I used a kind of like syringy projectile to insert a Jello shot into my mouth, which I thought was pretty good stuff.
How did it go?
And then someone commented on the clip saying that while they were watching it, they felt really underwhelmed. And
So he had it taken down
I was
immediately.
like, well, I realized it's not the best look.
Is that because
So
half
what-
of it went on your lap, or like
I kind of missed? Well, it comes out very
Well,
quick.
I shot the same syringe, but it had a cap on it. So when I shot
yeah,
it, it
that's-
kind of like went and just splattered all over, like none
Right.
in my mouth.
But what
And
were
I
they
shot the same one, and I
expecting?
drank the whole thing. So I'm
I don't
just
know.
a little
Like,
confused.
I don't
You're
know
on
what
that
I
level.
was it was a very
It was
off.
large. It was very large.
No, because how
Where
is
did
that
you
underwhelming?
record the special? I'm just interested.
No, it's a great question. It was in Cincinnati, Ohio, at a comedy club called Go Bananas, which is, I don't know why they can't just name it Cincinnati Comedy Club, but they did have to give it a
Or like
name
the
like
Ha
that.
Ha Club or the Laugh Factory.
Right,
or
right,
something
right. Yeah.
generic.
Punchline.
Helium.
Molasses Laughs
Well,
Comedy or something.
if you want to know how many views you got, I can let you know, man, right now.
No, don't do that.
It's
I'm not
early.
gonna-
It's early. And by the way, I don't know how
let it
clear I have to
marinate.
be.
Yeah,
I
let it
don't want to
marinate.
know. I can't know.
I know.
But
Can't know.
to answer this world, which is something that happened in the past, which I'm more comfortable with, rather than living in the present, which is where people should live, where you're trying to bring me back to. But if you want to say, it's too early. I did in Cincinnati and called in a favor. I was trying to do local radio there to promote it, and got brought on a guy named.
WKRP.
What is that? I don't know. Maybe I did.
The
He's not
sitcom
getting it.
WKRP in Cincinnati. It was a bad joke.
Oh, no.
You have to
That's
be
old
like
head shit,
44
Meech.
years old. I'm sorry.
I know what you're talking
I'm a
about.
little-
Guy-
don't
the guy with
apologize.
the hair.
I'm sorry for doing
That's
that.
all right.
I'm sure
So
people are
instinct,
laughing at it.
yeah.
I'm positive.
Called in a
I'm
favor.
laughing at
Yeah,
it.
called in a favor, and
sorry.
Tony
Good job.
Pike, who was like first team All Big East as a quarterback at
He was
some
quarterback for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
exactly.
He knows these
Yeah,
things.
and
Mark
great.
Goodheart
That's
knows all.
incredible.
Yeah.
Mark's like a Cincinnati Bearcat football aficionado.
I was listening to some of your podcasts. So the football that you guys had signed by was it
Connor and
Barwin?
Kelsey.
Yeah, and
They
Kelsey.
went to UC. Yep.
How much did that go for? You bought it?
I bought it, of course. 100 and
You should have said higher or lower. Come on, don't you know the game? You just
should've.
blurt out the figure. Come
I have a
on.
bunch of other items I bought that we could play that game
Yo,
with.
100 and something's a steal. Good
$139.
job. Oh, good
That's
job.
a
Adam.
steal. Yeah.
Steal. Steal.
Wait,
No, Tony Pike was legit. In
He was
fact, when you
really
said
good.
Tony Pike, I was like, could it be the same guy who was quarterback? But go ahead.
No, it was the same guy, and he hosts a radio show for ESPN Radio there. And we got put in touch by a mutual comedian friend, and I had forgotten how much of an overlap of Cincinnati and the Eagles there
my
are.
gosh,
where, of course, Kelsey, but then
Selleck.
Kelsey, Selleck, Trent Cole. There was
yeah, Trent.
another one too.
Connor.
Yeah, Connor, of course. Yeah. And so we had a lot to talk about with that, but it was funny where when you meet
Kenyon
athletes.
Martin.
The great Philadelphia Eagle tight end Kenyon Martin.
New Jersey. Sure.
Yeah, and you forget how big these people are. Where it's like, I've been fortunate enough to help the Eagles entertainment with like some of their, like their hype videos
right.
or whatever, which is incredibly generous
All right,
of them.
you know what? Go on a tangent real quick because I did see something. What was your involvement? There was a hype video or something?
I helped write the hype video where it was Sirianni's, I think, first year, and we didn't know if we were going to be good or bad. It was like a middle, like we were just, but we might be around 500. And I think he was 9-7 maybe that year.
Made the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's when we lost to Tampa Bay in the first round. And so they're like, hey, like we want to do something funny and silly. Can you help us? And there were so many people involved. I played a part in it and writing it. And It's like when Kelsey comes out of his, the front of his like quote unquote house, his belly's out, and
So hot.
it was the hottest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm picturing it in my head. I can't get it out of my head, and I won't get it out of my head.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but
yeah.
Myself and Fink and Rock were we were this close to making the hype video.
They got cut.
And we
Oh,
got
no.
cut, but then we got put in a social media kind of side thing
Like a
with
Darius Slay, little
we were waiting.
Yeah.
20-second promo.
That's great.
So
He's
we've done
so
some things.
funny.
Now, on
Yeah, he's
that
a funny
note,
dude.
He's really funny.
guys, there have been some wild happenings in the past week, and I don't know how much of this you know about, and we're going to educate you now if you don't know.
These shirts, I'm
These
saying.
shirts. So first off, I never thought Meech could look as good as he looks right now.
I usually don't wear pink, but
In hot
you know
pink.
What? I'm rocking it. It's
is it
cool.
October? It's not October yet.
Whoa.
Okay. So I want to go back in time a little bit. You guys who watch the show may be familiar with the fact that we came up with the idea to do these Schwarbie shirts. I got to give Meech the credit. He came up with the idea. I
Are you
just
sure
helped
you
him.
did? I thought Cub Designs did.
Oh yeah.
I thought all those
Yeah,
thousands
we'll get
of
there.
bootleg
We'll get
t-shirt
there.
come-
They've been knocked off already.
Oh
There's
my
already.
God.
like crazy.
Is
Like,
that true?
I guarantee you the
Oh, I'm
bootleg
shit.
shirts have sold way more than we have.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Because they're like incessant. They
Yeah.
promote everywhere.
So I don't know how that works, but
And they're
we'll
$8.
get to that moment. Let's start with Meech coming
Anyway,
up with this idea.
here's
right?
the origin of. I was down the shore when the Barbie movie was coming out, and I just, Schwarber was up, and I just had the thought. So I shot a message to the T-shirt guy. He completely ignored it for like a week, and I was like, Jesse, this will work. Like Texas guy. So they put together
I
the
bought
T-shirt
in right away. By
Yeah,
the way. I
yeah,
just
you
wanted
were
to-
in.
Because these things aren't time sensitive at all. Like,
Right,
take your
like-
time.
like-
Yeah, by all means.
Once the the movie's coming out, we got to get it out right now. But anyway, it didn't. It was like 3 weeks later after the movie came out. But still, it was a cool idea, a nice thing for girls or men confident in their masculinity.
Like
looking
the most
brilliant.
masculine men.
We put it out, and it was selling okay. We didn't really promote it too well. And then I sent a T-shirt to Jimmy Gorecki, who is a friend of the City Pigeons guest.
Yep.
Don't give away too much what we do. Yeah, we
Amazing
got it in there.
skateboarder. He gave it to his wife, who is an international pop star, and she wore it to a San Diego Padres and first Phillies game out in San Diego. Put it on her Instagram. Like, it was pretty cool. So then Jimmy was like, "Yo, the first baseman coach for the Phillies, who he's friends with, Paco Figueroa, was into the design. He's like, yo, send me one of them."
Who, by the way, if you follow Jimmy at all, Paco's always wearing like
The
his
JSP Vans, and
like
he's wearing Jordans.
Yeah,
he's a
he
very
knows what he's
stylish
doing.
first
So,
base coach.
yeah.
He's down with the
He's the
culture,
only stylish first base coach.
pretty much in the history of
That's a
sports.
crazy sentence. He's a stylish first base coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
But he is. So anyway, I had an idea to send a box of shirts to the clubhouse because maybe they'll check them out and put them on.
Well, he had said that send it to him and he'll wear it in warm-ups.
Right.
And then he followed up and said he had showed it to Schwarber and that Schwarber thought it was cool. So at that point, we were like, all right, let's print a bunch of these and send a box down. Fingers crossed it ends up, on the internet. And we literally sent a box to Citizens Bank Park, attention Paco Figueroa, right? And then actually, we should have pulled the predecessor picture to this because
Yeah, Jimmy Gorecki sent us a picture. It was all the shirts laid out on a table at the clubhouse.
Yeah.
With like the
like
locker
all the
room.
lockers in the
It was
background.
it was the coolest.
Nice.
looking-
We got that. We're just like, oh my god.
And you see the city, like the tags on the shirts say City Pigeons on them. So you see the City Pigeons tags in the picture. It was just a pretty cool moment for the podcast.
Congrats.
Very cool. So we see that and we're just like, oh my god, what could come next? And then we see this over here, and this was when things really went to the next level. And shout out to Alex. How do you pronounce Alex's last
Alex
name?
Coffey, right?
Is it
Yeah,
Coffee?
Alex Coffey.
Coffee. I just didn't know. I was just.
She
I
was
want to make sure I get it
she
right.
was supposed to be on tonight
Yeah.
if the Phillies.
We're gonna get her on to talk about this, and we couldn't have put this better ourselves. She said that we infiltrated the Phillies clubhouse, and Reese Hoskins is here looking like he's having like the time of his life. It's
He
just
looks good in it.
It's
That's
just
like the ultimate model shot. I mean, we
It's
couldn't
magic.
get a more perfect
No.
shot if we
magic.
hired photographers and literally hired Reese Hoskins to model the shirt. That would be the perfect shot from the shoot.
So, in Meech being adept at doing things as he is, kind of seeded the info to a couple of his media friends.
Shout out Matt Gelb. I knew
Gelb.
Matt would understand.
Yep,
So I
former
shot
guest.
him the info, and he immediately gave us the credit because
There you go.
if you see this and then someone just puts out, hey, everyone's wearing Schwarbie shirts, next thing you know,
The bots would have won.
Yeah, the bots won. But
yeah.
Matt Gelb, shout out to him, shout out to Alex. They put out there. Pat Gallen did the same thing.
Yep.
This is City Pigeons Podcast. Get the shirt here. It was really cool of them to do because otherwise it's like, who knows who did it first?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I get an email every time one of these things sells. I get a notification, and it's just like I'm looking at my email. It's just like, oh shit, they're coming in. But what the craziest thing was, all of a sudden, literally on Alex's tweet, all like this viral something pops up, and they're like, buy it here. And we're like, what? And then like literally within a day, there was 20 different sites, and I realized all they have to do is take a screenshot of it, put it up, and if people buy it, send it to them. And they're offering them for super cheap. But I
Cheap
will say this
quality.
too: shout out to anybody out there who got in on some of those posts and were getting our back and saying you got to get it from City Pigeons. That's
I
the original.
saw a few, and
Come on.
I didn't really know the people, and they were like, "Hey, this is bullshit. This is not yours. This is City Pigeons." I was like, "Shut up, shut up." These
It's hard.
people."
It's really hard
because I didn't even have the energy to do it. It's
very
like
difficult.
it's
Yeah, maybe we
exhausting.
should
It's a
rip
different
off some of
skill.
those other studio designs and
No,
start
but that's
selling them
not how we
ourselves.
do. I don't want to
rip
rip
off.
off.
How about a
other
little-
people.
how about a
Like,
little
I just
payback?
don't want them
Creative-
to rip off us.
No, this is a creative reimagination.
Well, let's
This is not a
creatively
rip-off.
rip them off.
And by the way, Mike sent me. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but sent me a text of his Schwarbeheimer design, and it is basically the same shirt, but just with fire set to it. There's holes in it. But I think that's fantastic. Too,
Yeah,
and
has
I hope no one
anybody
rips that off.
seen the Barbie movie by any chance? Just curious, out of curiosity.
No, but
Yes.
it's playing at the
Yes,
Ritz.
I have.
drove by. I thought that was like interesting. It's playing at the Ritz.
I thought it was a good
Fink,
movie.
can we get a quick Barbie movie review from
I
you?
give it- I give it 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
That was more in depth than his Air review, and he went to the goddamn premiere of it.
Yeah.
I also
pretty
saw.
good.
I also saw the movie. I'd give it about a 3 out of 5.
You're on the-
woodwork.
on the
You
pink
set us
carpet.
up like no one had seen it.
See, like, he answers the question. He's like, hey, anyone else see that movie?
I was just curious if anybody's seen
What's
it.
better, the Barbie movie or the Schwarbie T-shirt?
The Schwarbie T-shirt.
There we go. There we go.
So the
Anyway.
Phillies are down 3-1. It's the middle of the 8th.
Right.
But, we don't want to take too much credit for this, but since we infiltrated the clubhouse, the Phillies are 6-0.
And have clinched.
Well, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
anymore. We got them to where they needed to be.
Well, then
by
I guess we are
infiltrating.
taking some credit.
By
And
infiltrating.
unlike you don't want to live in the moment. Jesse's refreshing his email
But
constantly,
we've
seeing how many are
infiltrated
selling.
even further.
Well, that's
even
true.
further than the Schwarbie
Before
shirt.
you go there, I just wanted to say to anyone's watching and you're interested in purchasing this fine item, you can go to citypigeonspod.com and get yourself one of these.
Go to our Twitter account. The link's in the bio.
All these people are finally starting to get theirs, because we had to kind of like get them all made. We didn't have like a bunch of them sitting around. And now we're getting all these pictures of people wearing them. It's really awesome. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. And keep doing that. And if somebody asks you, just tell them to go to citypigeonspod.com.
I got another T-shirt design coming up this week. It's very obscure.
Very
It's
obscure.
not going to be as popular as the Schwarber.
You won't know what it is.
for
It's
the
so
real ones.
obscure.
It's not a ripoff.
Yeah,
And I
it's-
proposed like 5, and they all get shot down. So
Well, like
we're very
somebody-
selective
But
around here.
now the problem is this. I'm getting...
But you need a design, but you can't just say a phrase and
Yeah.
put it on a T-shirt. You need,
I'll give you an
need a
example.
whole
We
can come up with
design
some.
behind.
now, like family members, people are sending me stuff, and somebody goes, have you seen the Brotherly Shove? You need to make a T-shirt
Right,
of that.
yeah.
I'm like, you got to go
I
to the
get
next
that all
level,
the time.
guys. You got to
You mean
go
the
to the
tush
next
push.
level. Tush push,
Thank
Brotherly Shove. Let's not get into that. That's like we don't even have to deal with that. There's probably a cooler name than that. We should think of it. Okay, but let's talk about how
We should think of it at some
think of it.
point
At some point.
when we get a chance.
You should think of that.
We should think of it.
But speaking of Meech's brilliance, and I didn't mean to make this show all about Meech and how good he looks in
It's
the pink
the
shirt.
Meech show.
It's the Meech show. But he did. We
Wait
infiltrated
until we get to the
further.
bets. It'll really be the.
Oh yeah, this
Are we
is
ever
the
going to
Meech
stop
show.
talking about it?
No?
All right, Meech. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. You're not leaving to go to the bathroom, right?
Did we say something terrible to you? What
Yeah, my
happened?
headphones.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's talk about how we, and by we I mean you, but we take credit for everything you do now. How did we penetrate? How did we infiltrate?
No, that's
How do we penetrate the Phillies clubhouse?
And this is our final episode.
Yeah. Now we infiltrated further. We got to talk about this because Meech is all up in the Phillies, man. See, this is not going. What I'm saying is making no sense. Meech, take over.
Yeah, let me handle this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen.
he's balls deep in baseball right now. Is that
yesterday, and you know what? I was going to put this tweet out. If I thought about it, I would have put it out on the City Pigeons podcast because I don't want any more. I don't give a shit about me. I honestly, I'd rather the recognition come towards the podcast. But I put out a tweet. I just thought of those. There's those old GIFs of pitch overlays in baseball, which if you don't know what it is, it's like shows a pitcher's motion and then every pitch he throws comes out. So it just
Right.
looks like a spray of baseballs coming at a guy. And Garrett Stubbs the night before was so drunk that, and he had to play the next day.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what it's going to look like at the plate for Garrett Stubbs tonight. And Fink, if you play it, this is a pitch overlay of.
Canceled the playing.
Yeah, never mind. Don't play it, Fink. Just check out my Twitter if you need to.
That's
it's a
our
pitch
IT
overlay.
director right
you
there.
You can imagine it. Use your imagination because this people are listening as well, so they can't see it.
Right.
So it was a pitch overlay of Zach Wheeler just throwing like a ball, and it goes in like 50 different directions.
It was like he threw 14 pitches at the same time.
If you want to
Yeah.
see this, just go to @Meech1 on X.
And then after the game, Garrett Stubbs was being interviewed, and they asked him, "Yo, you seem to be a fan favorite. Do you see any of this?" He goes, "Well, actually, before the game, Stoddard and the boys were passing around this video of me, and he was describing my tweet. He goes, it was me standing at the plate and with all these balls coming at me in different directions." And he said the internet remains undefeated, which by the internet in this instance he meant me.
You're undefeated.
And he said,
You go by the internet
Yeah, he
when
said
we
that.
talk to people.
he said
Yeah.
that was very funny, or he might even have said hilarious. I
Right.
forget
He
his.
said you won the internet today.
Are we
He
sure?
didn't say
Are we
that, but
sure
it-
this was your tweet, or did somebody steal the tweet
No,
and then
no,
retweet
this
it as
is
somebody
a very
else?
original tweet because even after it happened, people started tweeting at me going, "Yo, Garrett Stubbs just referenced your tweet." It was a very specific
You know,
tweet.
and
There's
let me-
no other
Meech,
one he could
I
have
gotta
been
say,
referencing.
Some people are probably going to, if they hear this or watch this, think, that, great for you, whatever. But I got to say this. Both of these instances are reflections of what is a very creative, smart brain that you have. And I've known that, and that's why I reached
Please.
out to you. No,
Like,
seriously.
No, but honestly, if you knew how desolate and
No.
empty this brain is, all it does is remember music lyrics and
That's not true.
references from. Like I see something and all I remember is other stuff I saw. It's not a smart brain. It's a very frustrating one. And
Will
I
you
wish
tell
I didn't
that to the
have it.
people that gave the Fightin's blog the best of Philly back in 2008, okay?
It was 2011.
2011.
But
It
I
was a
did get
good year.
Best of Philly award.
Did you know that?
I think about it
That
constantly.
you hang up in like
Yeah.
your storefront.
I tried to steal that
I put it
physical
in my
award from your
bedroom
home.
window. How small businesses put it in their storefront.
No, I believe this
I have
is
one
less
of
of a
those.
podcast, more of a think tank.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
is what this is.
Best
yeah.
of Philly.
For good
Yeah.
news. Best of Philly winners.
Anybody else win Best of Philly in
I
here?
know, just us two.
Just us two.
I don't really focus on awards. I just focus on views. Where am I at right now? No, I'm kidding.
Over
Yeah.
under. What do you want to know?
No, he doesn't know.
It's
Just
probably
kidding.
like if it's 1,000, I'd be shocked.
Leave the poor guy alone.
All right, all right.
I'm just telling.
No,
I didn't
but-
say that. I didn't say.
is-
Leave
did you
the
wanna know
poor
over
guy.
under.
That's worse.
Yeah.
What you said was worse.
All right.
You didn't say I was
All
a
right.
poor guy.
Is
You're doing great. I'll just say that, Blake. How about that?
Yeah, he's in.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So we're gonna. Well, let's start, Meech, real quick.
Let's start the podcast.
Give a quick. Let's start the podcast.
Let's
We're
real
ready.
restart everything.
We're ready to go.
Delete the tape, Aleko.
Can you
Starting
give? This really, I can't believe it has turned into stroke Meech all night long. But
This
you know,
part isn't so much.
I'm making. There's so much
Yeah,
sexual
you're
innuendo
getting
in this.
crazy,
The hell's
Jesse.
wrong
Like,
with
just
me?
use regular language.
Well, I just
man.
wanted to really emphasize the fact that we were really laying it
But
on
this
thick.
isn't so much about me, this part, as it is about the people who allowed me to be me.
That is the craziest sentence I've ever heard in my life.
I'm sort of. I'm trying to. It's
No,
the
I'm-
delay
I'm messing
until we
with you.
get.
Okay.
But
It's not so much me, but more of the voices in my head,
well, that's what these people. These are
metaphorically.
betting.
It's the people who make you you.
Right.
And
I
in
like
this
that.
case, that we're delving into another side of Meech's brain, which is the gambler extraordinaire.
Oh, cool.
Degenerate brain.
Well,
Degenerate.
While you're trying to connect, let
No,
me.
we're connected.
Oh, we're connected. All right.
You want
all
the
right.
headphones on?
Yeah, we got to put the headphones on. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to pull in the maestro here. That's the man behind the man because Meech has been.
What's up, Rufo?
How we doing,
Can you
guys?
hear us?
Oh, it's working. This
I
is
don't know how to take a
fantastic.
picture of my cat, though. So.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, we're sorry that Fink's got a picture of his cat.
All right,
It's all good.
let me give a little introduction here. Back in 2021, back when we were getting stimmy checks and FanDuel was popping off, and the single game parlay just was invented. FanDuel introduced the single game parlay, which changed people's lives. Chili Bets came out of nowhere. They were on Twitter and they started giving out picks, and they had this thing. It was basically, Rufo, let me get this straight. It was negative correlation was your big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean the odds were just all messed up, to be honest, and we were kind of just attacking it. So
They knew how to mess with the odds on FanDuel single game parlay to where if you take the over with some, like say you took Jimmy Butler, his over in rebounds, over in assists, and under in points, it would boost the odds up. And this was like his regular stat line. He would get 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. So they would put out these stimmies. You'd put $10 and you'd win $3,000. You'd win $1,200. It was just incredible run they went on. Then I think they got banned from.
All right, but real quick, and sorry that you don't have a visual on us, but we're doing the best we can. What is the actual name? Like, I want to make sure people understand where they can, because you have a service that you provide to people like Meech here, right? So I want people to know what it is.
yeah, it's Chili Bets, so it's at Chili Bets on Twitter. We kind of just do a lot of promotion on Twitter. All the picks and stuff go through like a Discord. We're hooked up with Dub Club is their name, and I mean, we just started up. We're doing well again, so hopefully it continues.
Yeah. And can you speak a little bit to the methodology? Because Meech was showing me some of the stuff you did and, that you're doing, and that negative correlation thing is really crazy, right? And he showed me, like, for example, the Calvin Austin bet from the other night. You mind talking people through that and like how you guys like thought about that? Because it's just honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, my theory is the negative correlation. Like, it's still the odds are still juiced to an extent. You kind of just got to know, like speedsters. Calvin Austin. I mean, he's a 4.2 40 guy. So I'm watching him in preseason. He catches 80-yard touchdowns. I mean, it's a prayer, but the dude's fast. Under 2.5 receptions, 70 yards is plus. I think it was plus 3,000 or plus 30,000 or something. And it goes both ways. Like tonight we have a bet on this Packers tight end. He kind of runs a lot of underneath routes, but we have him going over reception. So we're hoping he catches 4 balls, right. A couple 5-yard passes here and there, get tackled. 5 for 30 stat line would win us a lot of money. So
right. So it doesn't defy logic, right? But the idea that you're going to bet, a lot of receptions and then under, a low yardage total, that's where you get that crazy return, because it's a very unlikely scenario. Like the other night, the bet was Calvin Austin to get less than 2 catches, but over 60 yards or something, right? And it's just
the worst part about that was he caught the 72-yard catch in the first quarter, and then he caught a ball for no yards right after that. So then for 3 quarters, you're just praying. Like, all I'm doing is
a horrible
watching.
Way to watch a game.
I'm following his route, just praying nobody throws him the ball for 3 quarters, and it actually worked out. He got a couple pass interference against him, a couple overthrows. It worked out good.
I think he dropped one. I mean, we had him in Discord sweating bullets for about 2.5 hours straight, so it was a good time.
But, I think the good thing about the way you guys do it is it's, I don't think it's not a high risk scenario, right? Because you can put a reasonable amount down and have a high payoff. So I don't,
And listen, everybody wants to win these huge amounts, but you're not going to win every night. Of course. You go on runs, but you just got to trust the system. So with Chili Bets, here's what, like, I usually wouldn't recommend anyone join a gambling Discord. There's only a few that are like legit, because most of them just give a million picks out, and then when they hit, they're like, oh, check these out. These are the ones we won. Where it's one guy giving picks. 2, Dino is another guy he gave me a WNBA winner the other night. We got
to talk about that.
But like it's one guy giving picks. He gives an explanation on them. He finds angles. Like last week during the Sunday Night Football game, he found Jamar Chase was plus 550.
This was
to get the most rushing and receiving yards out of the game. And you look at it, you're like, this seems like too good a value. So
yeah, can you talk to that a little bit about how you guys like identified something like that?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was just saying,
I don't know.
can you like that Jamar Chase bet? How are you like identifying that sort of thing? Do you know what I mean?
Because that's some shit. Like I just wouldn't see that. Are
Right.
you looking everywhere? Like,
My screen time on that app is ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, but I think Vegas had that prop factored in based on his prior games. Like his past 2 games, I think he had like 40 receiving yards each.
Right.
I know who Jamar Chase is. Like I don't know why he was priced for 550. It was rushing and receiving combined, so they had the running backs like the highest odds. Jamar Chase can go for 150 any night. I think it went for like 160.
yeah, went for 151.
I don't know who's second in that.
It was like
but,
74 yards was second.
Honestly, that
Yeah,
saved me.
I think Tutu Atwell was second. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put in
that
a
was just-
bunch. I put in a bunch of my own single game parlays. You know what I mean? And they failed miserably. But because Meech showed me that, I was able to save the entire day.
Dude, we were
I
all here.
hope
We were
that's
all here
okay.
Monday night watching the game, and I said, "Yo, guys, you got to follow this Jamar Chase one." But now they got to sign up for the picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, check it out, guys. We're doing really
They do
well.
You got a free
I'm
7-day
sure.
trial, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I shoot me a DM or shoot me a text. I can get you one on.
You got a
I'll
free
see it.
7-day trial. I know he's got a 25% off code for the first month. Yo, if
Yeah.
you
Where do
don't
you
win
go
your
to do
money
this?
back in the first month, there's something wrong with you.
You got
Yeah,
to
I'll be
DM.
You
shocked.
got to DM them.
There's going to be
It's not
bad
on your
weeks.
website or nothing.
We haven't had one yet, so
Yeah, just go on Chili Bet's Twitter and you'll find the link.
Meech will get you set up. He'll get you set up. But yeah, no. Hey, like this is the hardest part for me was like finding some of this stuff. You know, I think most people like me are pretty basic, right? We're going in there, we're looking at like some of the popular stuff where they recommend, and then I'm a Birds guy, so I'm just going to the Eagles game. I'm like, oh yeah, AJ Brown's definitely going to catch this, and it's just going through it and putting something together that's never going to happen. But then when I see something very particular, like I got to find it. Like I got to, where's this guy? Over, under. So that's the
those
only
are
hard
the
part.
best ones too.
Exactly.
The ones that are hidden down low. Those are the ones you want. So.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've followed these guys before. They're 10 times better at basketball. I mean, they're great at football, but they're 10 times better at basketball. You weren't even around last year, but I heard would you hit with Walker Kessler and Camera? Like you hit all.
Yeah. I mean, I would just know basketball. Honestly, like I watch these guys. We're in a dynasty basketball league. I just fucking know these guys. So I know ball. Cam Thomas is on the bench. All of a sudden, I see Cam Thomas starting tonight. I'm like, okay, let's go. Props at 12.5. I mean, sprinkle some alternate 30. Yeah, I think he scored 40.
And especially with basketball, there's so many games each night, and there's so many prop bets. There's an easy way to find angles, and I'm telling you, my man finds them.
But talk to me about the WNBA. How do you keep your eye on that as well?
End of question. Talk to me about the WNBA. Full stop.
Dino. I let him handle it. He's actually good at it. I don't know how. Don't ask me. Maybe I got to get him on for another episode because he. I don't know if he just follows trends or what his situation is, but he's.
I'd be interested to know: are there particular trends like, it's different in the WNBA? Maybe there are things you can, that are easier to.
Listen, it's just like every other sport.
Yeah,
you follow
random.
it close enough, you can find the angles, you see who's hot, you know matchups, and
Yeah, I mean, my goal with the entire thing is kind of like reasonable discipline betting, but also like betting on usage, like high usage guys. There's other pages. I don't want to shit talk other pages, but they're throwing out like any touchdown score or bets. It just feels like luck to me versus
That's what Meech said.
Trash them.
That's
Let's
what
go.
Meech said.
Let's talk
I'm
shit.
just saying, like, we're looking at route participation. We're looking at usage. There's actually logic to it. I don't know. It's pretty much every page they're throwing out any touchdown score.
yeah. In the past week alone, he's made me about $3,000 on about $200 worth of bets. It's
Oh
not
my
like,
God.
It's not like I'm going crazy.
That's incredible.
This is serious. This is serious stuff.
So
I'm diving in.
Yeah, if I highly recommend it, and I don't recommend anyone gamble because it's a tough thing, but it's almost like not even gambling when you follow their unit wagering, and it's just very good, and I recommend him. He's a friggin' man.
Now, out of curiosity, is this what you do full time at this point? Is this thing taking off, or is this still kind of a side deal for you?
I'll say it is absolutely taking off ever since the Calvin Austin hit. So I'm looking into getting into it full time.
Just quit that job. Get out of there.
I am not at the moment.
All right.
Might have to,
Honest to God, I've seen other Discords. Like, you ever hear that dude El Capitan?
I don't think so.
He's from Jersey, but he's another guy. He's a solo guy. I don't follow his thing, but I know his Discord. He's got like $1 million worth of subscribers just in his Discord before any bets, and he hits bets too. But like I'm telling you, you're on your way to that, man, and you
I hope so, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. There's definitely a market for it. I mean, it's getting improved. Gambling's getting improved in more states. Who knows? If it's here to stay, then it's definitely going to be a full time.
Because it's very easy to follow on your. I hate Discords. I'm an old guy. I don't even like how they're laid out. I don't like dealing with them, but it's very easy to follow.
Hey, Meech is your biggest fan and promoter, and he's the real deal. So we're in. We appreciate
Is
it.
tonight's bet a chili
good
bet?
luck.
Yeah, chili bets forever.
We were talking about your chili bet for tonight.
I'm just hoping your account doesn't get
I'll see
banned.
you
So
guys
you can keep
I'm
going.
excited.
Yeah, let's see if we keep rolling like this, man. Maybe you can come in here, watch a game with us, and we can do something along those lines. But thank you for joining
100%.
us.
I'll come in there.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Be well. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Chili.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully that worked for the people.
So Meech, how does this work? Like you pay for a subscription with him because
Yeah, I think it's like
because
50
it was on Twitter or something too. How's
It's
it
like
work?
$50 a month. They've been putting out free picks because they just came back up.
Here's one of the bets that Meech had with they were just talking about the Calvin Austin bet.
Yeah. Take a look at this
$25
real quick.
to win 2,200.
Yeah. So take a look at this real quick if you're
Crazy.
on the stream. This is such an interesting bet to me, right? So it's Calvin Austin the third, under 2.5 receptions, right? So you're betting that he's going to have 2 receptions or less, and 50+ yards, right? So it's like almost like a Deshaun Jackson bet, although Deshaun Jackson would likely have more than that
The
many
dude basically
catches.
has to catch a bomb.
Deshaun Jackson will have one catch and
Who
go out with
would
an
be a
injury.
guy from Eagles
He
history?
actually, he actually
Pinkston?
put out a more complicated bet
Pinkston,
than
yeah,
this.
I think, yeah.
Quez.
That had 2 extra legs that one of our buddies
Not Quez
put 10
anymore.
bucks
It's the
on
other guy
and
now.
won $10,000.
Wait,
From
pull
a
up,
shoe.
pull up the field goal bet. Was that his?
No, that wasn't his.
Oh, that's a
that
different
was
one?
put out on.
All right, but I just want to show people the run that you're on because it's out of control.
This is the Jamar
Okay,
Chase bet.
so this is the Jamar Chase bet from last weekend, and it was kind of a no-brainer, right? Because it's just he's going to have the most yards of anyone in the game.
So these are Meech's actual bets.
Yeah, there's Meech actual
Right,
bets.
right,
Look at this.
right.
And now I will say this: at that point, you were cooking with some oil, right? Because you had won, so that's why the
I'm
200.
There's some
big,
hefty
and I
wagers
didn't put
there.
anything on the Eagles game because I just wanted to enjoy the game. So I said, let me go deep on
But
that.
the funny thing is, if you looked at the rosters for the Rams and the Bengals in that game, there was nobody even close to considering who would have gained. Like Joe Mixon is not going to outgain Jamar Chase.
No.
Who on the
I
Rams
mean,
is gonna
technically
do
he
that?
could,
No one.
especially rushing and receiving
Yeah, but
yards.
the closest guy was Tutu Atwell.
And
at one
Cup
point.
wasn't playing, right?
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
still
no,
out.
no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So this we got to talk about because this is Meech's tailing on the
This
WNBA
one
bet
baffled
here.
me. I seen that when in his slip.
This Rufo didn't put this up. This was his buddy Dino who deals with the NBA, but he put it out. There was no other games on. I think it was Tuesday night. So I was up big. So let me throw $75 on this WNBA parlay.
Yeah.
Now me and my wife are in bed. It's like midnight, and I'm watching the Aces.
This is so
game.
romantic. I
Tell
love
us
it.
more.
And I need AJ Wilson to score 30 points, right? She's got like 26 with about a minute and change left. She gets fouled, hits 2 free throws, gets an offensive rebound with like 30 seconds left, hits the first, gets fouled, hits the first free throw. The second free throw looked short, hit the front of the rim, and had that forward bounce, went whoosh, 30 points exactly, hit for 540, 570.
That's why you need someone like this because I know Asia Wilson's very good. I can see her getting 30+ points. I don't know who Jones is.
Yeah, I
but
never
if
heard
they're
of her. And she had 11
rebounder,
rebounds by the end of the third quarter.
so
She's the Dennis Rodman
done.
of the
Like,
WNBA.
yeah, that's
in case
the
you wonder.
nuance to me is like, okay, I don't know what that is, but if you have
Not
someone who
Rodman's
can do
daughter,
that, that's
she's
great.
nasty.
You know what I realized? We really screwed up.
What's a Discord, by the way? I know I'm working with Stone Tools
Yeah,
over here.
I'm-
but
yeah,
yeah,
well,
I'm asking for
that's-
me and
that's
Rocco.
good.
It's
Yeah.
like crypto.
It's like a chat room basically. It's an app.
And
What did
he
we-
has
what did we
a
screw up?
handle within the app. Is that what you're saying? We could take this
candle in
offline
the
too.
app.
But
This
have
isn't
their own-
to
they
be
We sound
explained.
like some real fucking geezers over here,
Yeah,
man.
really. Just check
The
out the
geezer
Chili
wing.
Bets
Yeah.
Twitter, and everything will be explained.
You're gonna have to help them get to the
In due
Chili Bets
time.
Twitter.
What's an iPhone? What is an iPhone?
No, you know we screwed up. We talked about the Schwarbie shirts, and we didn't give a shout out to our fine sponsors.
That's really bad on our part.
A Best Swag. So let me do that right now because I just want to say A Best Swag has been with us from the start. on the manufacturing of the Schwarbie shirt?
I actually saw Alex from A Best Swag today. My wife and a few of her friends are going on a weekend trip to the shore, and they all wanted Schwarbie shirts to match. And Alex was like, "Yo,
Boom.
I don't know if I could do it. It's gonna, don't you know?" He called me today. He goes, "I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm dropping
Boom.
them off."
Wow. Boom.
What a guy.
Where are they
Shout out
based?
Alex.
That's
They're
service.
they're in the Northeast.
They're Philly guys?
Right off
Northeast,
College
baby.
Ave. Yeah.
Because that looks like a soft shirt
It is
too.
soft.
Where
It's great.
I want one of those so bad, and I
Well,
haven't
then
figured out.
one's in the mail, Blake.
And you know,
On us.
Why don't you just get
I'll
the
just
one
get
off
it
your
myself.
back,
I'll
man?
pick it
Yeah,
up.
take it
Listen,
off right now.
A-Best Swag, also the manufacturer of the City
My
Pigeon
big
shirts,
fat belly.
which you can also get at citypigeonspod.com.
Hell yeah.
They've got a nice tie-dye situation. I got one for you in the back, actually.
That's
Don't let me
so
forget.
fun. It's like you lived in LA for 10 years. You can
Yeah,
have a tie-dye shirt.
They're cool now. It's not a hippie thing.
No, I'm into it.
You
I'm
like
into it,
tie-dye?
and I will wear every single one of them. I would wear it right now if I had access to it. But
Well,
yeah,
we're-
truly,
Meech, take it off, Meech. You got it.
We're
We
gonna
can make
get
that
you
happen.
We're
access
talking
to
about
it.
the City Pigeons one.
that's right.
No, but
Pay attention to the show.
anybody
Hell yeah.
watching,
What
listening, should you need...
What was the name of the manufacturer again?
A Best Swag.
A Best
Thank
Swag.
you. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing it back to
Anytime.
the sponsor read. Should you need anything printed, they can print anything on just about anything. And A Best Swag, they do Underdog, they do all the Federal Donut stuff. Great guys in the community. Check them out as soon as you get a chance.
What about if you're on your way to get something printed and you get injured in some precarious situation?
That's a
where
great
you
question.
need a lawyer.
What if you
would happen
slipped on
then?
a lesser company shirt that was just in the street?
Who would you call then?
Yeah, what
would
would
that
you
be?
do?
Would
Through
that be
fault-
another
through
sponsor
no fault of
ours?
your own, I would be dying to find someone. I'm like,
trying.
Who would you? Could you think of anyone?
Would you? have to-
I'd look for someone with a good heart, like a positive person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Maybe name Mark.
Mark? Do you
Mark
know
sounds
anyone?
great
Mark, do you know anyone that we could call for that?
with the C or a K.
I'm a little confused. Can you explain?
So like
No, this is
personal,
part of-
like I'm looking for a personal injury firm to like act on my behalf, because I would imagine when you're in a personal injury lawsuit, it's very complicated, it's emotionally fraught, and you're looking for someone to act on your behalf as an advocate. Do you know anyone
We know the perfect guy.
like that?
His
Yeah,
name's Mark
you
Goodheart.
do.
We want someone like that.
Mark Goodheart.
We do it every day, baby.
Incredible. Is that what
Every
you do?
day. You know,
What if
do
somebody-
do what the pigeons do. That's
Well,
the
right.
Goodheart
What
firm.
if Blake is specifically, one night terrible, and someone throws a rock at him?
I don't
someone
like. I
throws
don't
an
like that.
iPhone
I
at
don't
his
like.
face.
I don't like that much. I think perhaps tomato.
Did
Let's go with
anyone
that.
throw a
Let's
tomato
see,
at
I'm
you
doing
ever?
my closing. I'm doing my closing bit. I throw a banana on stage and I slip and fall on it. However, someone replaced the banana with some sort of weird prop,
It's
and
on them.
I didn't. It's on them.
Right.
It's not on me. It's someone else's fault. Something sinister is going on.
I feel like this is the part where Mark says, "But to be serious."
Sounds like a great case.
I think I have an airproof case. But say I gave a better example, who would we call? Hypothetically.
Yeah.
You would do what pigeons do. They call the Goodheart firm.
Yes.
Goodheart firm.
That's what we're
do.
looking for here.
We haven't sustained any meaningful person injuries yet, but it's going to come. I'm sure of it. We've done a lot of tailgates. We've done a lot of mobilizations.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So stay ready.
Is there a website or a phone number? How do we get in touch with them?
Believe it or not.
Goodheartfirm.com.
I know I don't know what a
Goodheart.
Discord is, but I did build a website.
There
so
you
I
go.
do.
Did you build it yourself,
And-
or did you have someone build
No,
it
I
for
had
you?
someone build it.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you know what a Discord is, because you're a licensed attorney and you're going to represent people to the best of your capability, and you're quite good at it. And that's in all seriousness. I do
Truth.
not kid. And thank
Goodheart
you
firm.
for your support of the program always.
You're very
Okay.
welcome.
And last but not least, we got to give a shout out to our buddies JBMP. I don't know if you have a weather report
JBMP.
ready.
JBMP.
Look,
JBMP.
Blake picked right up on that. Yeah, guys, we gotta harmonize
It's not
like an
too hard.
acapella
It
group.
goes so good. I
We're
love
like
it.
a
That's all I have.
barbershop quartet right there. It's like,
JBMP.
we need a deep JBMP.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Mark.
JBMP.
There you go.
They actually happen to be a client of the Goodheart firm in the other branch of the business, our business counseling and business representation. And they then joined the City Pigeons podcast. So we must be doing
Look at that
something right
synergy.
at the Goodheart firm because they're following me everywhere. But so JBMP is the finest leasing and management and real estate brokerage in Philadelphia. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're located in Fishtown.
Yeah.
You see their signs everywhere. In fact, Jesse remarks on how he sees their signs quite often.
I do.
But JBMP, John and Maria are the founders, fantastic people. And they've got a great staff there, full service leasing, management. They cater to, high end, to middle of the road, to, just mom and
across the
pop,
spectrum, yeah.
commercial. They've got it all. If you need a place to live, you need a place to post up your business.
You got to crash for a week or two.
If you
Call
need to
John.
crash for a week or two, if you need to find a spot to open a comedy club, you go to JBMP.
Done.
They will treat you well, and they have thousands of apartments at their disposal. And if you own an apartment, you need it managed, you go to JBMP. But what I can tell you about them, they just will treat you well. They will do it right. Leasing, real estate, everyone's in the game, but they are all-stars. In addition, they're very in tune with the weather. And so this week,
Great at weather.
because, you don't want to head out looking for an apartment. Rock's trip to the bathroom is brought to you by JBMP.
There's a storm coming.
That was incredible.
The barometric pressure.
That was incredible.
When the camera, when you're talking, the camera that's pointed over there is on his area.
And he just leaves.
There's no way to know for sure.
Rock just walked in
There's a
front of all
cold
three
front
cameras
coming
at
in.
once.
He's grabbing a beer out of a
He'll be on the
refrigerator.
beanbag next week. Okay, go ahead. Oh my God.
I don't need one.
Anyway,
I want
long story
one.
short, they're very in touch with the weather because you don't want to take clients out in a rainstorm.
Sure.
At the same time, you don't want to attend this Sunday's game in a rainstorm. And thankfully, the JBMP weather forecast for this Sunday's Eagles game is predicting 77 degrees and sunny.
My lord.
Let us go.
JBMP.
So
I was wondering, do you know what the acronym JBMP stands for?
yes, it is John and Maria's initials.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Very quickly.
And
You said
so
it moments before.
77 and sunny, JBMP will deliver you beautiful weather on Sunday. They'll deliver you a beautiful place to
I
live.
trust JBMP more than I do Cecily Tynan. How's that?
Beautiful.
Wow,
There
that's
you go.
that means
Amazing.
something.
That's really
Amazing.
good.
They're so good at weather and real estate. But you know what?
Matters.
That's enough on JBMP. I love you guys, but
And now
we need
back
to get
to
it
the
back
Meech
to the
show.
show. And Rock has been over there.
Yeah, before we
Any more cool things?
Before we continue on,
Oh no.
before
What
we
else has
continue
Meech
on,
done?
Wait, here we
I
go.
just have a quick question. I see Fink taking notes the entire show. I want to know what is going on in that note.
Well, hold on.
I'm just drawing smiley faces.
This is a relevant topic. Is what I wanted to get into was what I like to call Fink's big break.
Ooh.
Now I don't know if people that are watching know this, but Fink was approached to be a part of a show, and it's with a bona fide media outlet.
That's all small.
Yeah, that's him. We're gonna have to blow that up.
Unfortunately, it's in
my fault.
110p definition, low
That's
definition.
me.
That's
taking
our
a-
IT director.
I took that screenshot
Could you get it more
on my
pixelated?
phone. So he
still
appeared
trying to
on a
figure out
show.
things.
What's it called? Fox's Finky
Fantastic
Funktown?
sports show.
Finktastic.
Fantastic. I just changed it a little
Finktastic.
bit. I like
Okay.
Fantastic a
I
lot
think it's
better.
going to catch on.
No, but Rock, actually, as you were saying that, and I wanted to talk about this anyway, it occurred to me maybe he's taking notes on some of the things we're doing in our setup that he intends to take back to the Fantastic sports show. So
I'm just drawing smiley faces over here, if I'm being honest. I wrote down
he's
the
drawing
words.
hoagies.
I wrote down the words JBMP.
He's drawing penises in that book. I don't.
Just keeping myself occupied.
No, it's like super bad. He's drawing dicks.
There's no way that trash bag is good for audio right now. I'm not a producer on the show.
Mark Goodheart, you're going to have to come back to the microphone and explain why you felt it necessary to put a garbage bag into the garbage during the podcast.
It
Taking
looks
out
like
the
a
trash.
coffin.
On a different night, that might make me really angry, but I'm feeling okay with it somehow tonight. All right, Fink, but I got to hear
Well, you're
about
looking
this.
out for us. You're looking out for the safety of our place.
Like, what it's like to go from something like this, really grassroots, super cool, and then, like, fully selling out and doing, like, something with, like, crazy media company. Do you know how that feels?
I do know exactly how that feels. Yeah, of course. Yeah, why do you
feel
bring that up?
Like, you want to do it for yourself because it's good for you,
think,
but then you feel bad about it,
Blake
You feel
It's
that.
good for you. You feel a little bad about. Like it's like, so what is the how do you feel at the end of it? I
Right.
guess like
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, but I
Oh my God, that's so nice
I'm
of you.
joking.
Thank you.
Fink, we're happy for you. Now, can you ask them to get the show to be a little bit earlier? Because 11:30 is very tough.
I'll try my
I
best.
like the 11:30 aspect
Oh,
of it. It's like,
do you?
Yeah.
Because actually, can you tell
It's like
people
late night
wait,
Fink.
Yeah, what
Thank
did
you,
you
seriously.
say
Did
when you said
did you watch the show?
Yeah, did you see it?
It came
Or
on
were you
after
too
the
busy?
WNBA game that he was watching.
I was
I got booked
watching.
for the WNBA.
I swear to God, I had all plans to watch it. Me and my wife were, Fink's coming on Fox 29, And then Asia Wilson was stuck at 22 points for like 6 minutes, and I'm like, shit, I can't change the fucking channel.
You
I
got
have
bumped
to
by
watch
Asia Wilson.
The Las Vegas Aces here.
Of a
So
regular
Jesse, you
season.
and Becca were not laying
And
in
then by
bed
the time-
watching Fink
That's a
together?
clip.
By the time I remembered, it was 12:02, and the show was over.
Oh yeah, I bet.
No.
I would have watched.
I
watched.
appreciate
I
that.
watched the
Thank
entire
course.
thing. You did a fantastic job. I had no idea that you were even going to
Fantastic
be
job
on.
a fantastic sports show.
You did a fantastic job. I had no idea you were even going to be on there, but my wife said it was around like 11:26. She's like, "Oh, Fink's going to be on this show tonight." I was like, "What?" And then I'm like, "On Fox?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Let me go down there and watch it." And I went down there and watched it.
appreciate
Did
the kind words.
great
It means
job,
a lot
man.
for me.
Yeah.
I was sweating.
Is anyone in the chat commenting on your capabilities on the Fantastic Show? I just want
They
to know.
just told me I sucked.
Okay, I can't.
Someone asked me to
was
borrow a
nice
few
of him.
bucks.
If you don't have any
Meech
haters, you're
Rodg.
not doing something right there.
Yo, I got 5 kids. You want to see my grocery bill, and then you ask me to
Yeah, we
borrow a
do.
few bucks?
Mike, it was one of your kids actually that was asking for $5.
And you
That's
know
who
what?
was in the
In
game.
the chat.
Yeah, in the chat.
I just got my oldest son. He was his phone got cracked. He went to AC and
So what? Mine's
the front and
cracked.
back
You live
got
with
cracked. So I bought him a brand new phone because I
You're a
did
good
well
dad.
and I love my children.
For
That's
the
very
record,
sweet.
when Meech leaves
sorry, I
the coop
can't let you
tonight,
borrow
he
money
has
'cause I just bought my
security.
son a new phone.
Nobody get any crazy ideas?
He goes, "Thanks, Dad. You're the best gambler ever."
They really did.
Beautiful.
I just wish. See, I
sorry,
wanted
go
to.
ahead.
I wanted to give these bets to my son because he's 21 and has
my.
a FanDuel account. But my father got me into betting, and I became a degenerate. When I was younger, I was like
The
a
days
legit
of the
degenerate to
bookie.
where I'd owe my bookie thousands of dollars, and I'd make like $125 a week from White Glove Car Wash. But I didn't want my son to get into that mentality because it's really bad. It's not something I
luckily
recommend.
with FanDuel, you can't spend what you don't have. You know what I mean? You got to put the money in
Yeah,
there.
but you could spend everything you have.
That's a good point.
It's a good.
And I just use my credit
there.
card to load it up. So, you know.
But anyway,
That's actually a good point.
I love my children.
All right.
Can I give a quick?
And my
Is
wife.
it
can do
Fink?
whatever you
Eric,
want.
first name Eric?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Eric. I feel uncomfortable calling someone by the last name that I haven't met truly before.
I get you on that.
Yeah.
Because I don't jump right in on the nickname. You know,
Yeah.
some people jump right in on the nickname. I feel like you got to earn the
I'm a
nickname a
nickname
little.
jumper.
You jump right in? Okay.
I think it can go both ways. Where I feel like it's either like, oh, like we're buddies. You know, like I'm a down to earth
I've
person.
never called him Eric once. I didn't even
Not
know
once.
his name was Eric.
No,
Until
to be
you
honest, it was like, who the hell is Eric?
found out.
Who are you looking at?
He thought he was Frank.
Is there
It's
a
like,
ghost?
It's like I'm sorry to interrupt. You ever hear the story where
you're great.
David Ortiz didn't know that Dustin Pedroia's first name was Dustin?
That's so funny.
and
yeah.
he's like, they announced my name for every home game right in front of you. He didn't even know. He's like, why are you calling him Dustin?
Didn't he call him
Who the
like
hell is
Tiny
that?
or something? Yeah.
Called him something stupid.
Put your hands together for Tiny. It's like that's where what he thought would happen. One of the worst, only because you brought up like Fox 29 is what you were on, right?
Yes.
Was the worst bombing, the worst bomb I've ever had in my career. Was a guy was very nice to invite me on to he had a daytime talk show on Fox 29. He goes, I'm being syndicated for the first time from Fox 29 Philly, where it's going to air in Los Angeles, Vegas, Phoenix, Chicago, New York, like all these, you know,
Who was it?
major markets. Q, his name was Quincy.
Yeah,
Q,
yeah.
the
from
Q show.
Q1.
Yeah, the Q show. And he's an incredibly talented guy, and now he's doing his own podcast. He's incredibly successful. But I'm like, yes, of course. That
Like
sounds
us.
amazing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got it.
And he was like, will you come to be my first guest doing stand-up? I'm like, of course. So they tape at 11 a.m., and I did 3 minutes, supposed to be completely clean, which I can do. I just curse a lot. Generally, my shit's
That's your
clean.
demeanor.
So I go and perform, and I did fine. Like, I didn't crush, but I did for 11 a.m., I murdered.
It's hard to crush at 11 a.m.
Thank you. And my now wife, my now current in-laws were like, oh, we can watch this version of his performance. And they didn't mic the audience. So I'm on stage performing, and I go,
Oh, no one's laughing.
here's a joke. And then not only can you not hear any laughter whatsoever, I'm pausing as if there is, so I look severely mentally ill. Yeah, I'm like, and no one is laughing at all. And then that's syndicated across the country. And then they watched it together. And this is when I realized I got along with my in-laws, where they were dying laughing at no one
yeah, right.
laughing. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, we can all make fun. That actually is.
Is there still video of that?
I don't. I mean,
I'm
that
gonna,
I can.
I'm gonna find it. Just
You'll
let
find.
You know.
Put it honestly. If you can find it, put it. I'm wearing an awful
we have
gray
a bounty
polo
out
shirt.
for Blake Wexler footage from bombing and Jesse Rendell footage
You'll
from when he
find
was
it.
a kid.
Flying Monkey and Wizard of Oz.
This was Q's, not
Write
Q's
those
fault.
bounties down,
Oh,
Fink.
I am.
And a picture of Meech working at White Glove.
100%, and we'll find all of them and put them
Listen,
into one big package.
I'm sure I could find one of those.
And this
me
wasn't.
And, me and like 6 of my friends worked at White Glove. It was the funnest weekend gig ever.
It only lasted a weekend.
What was the related scam there?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Meech, we know
You
something.
want to hear the White Glove scam?
There's definitely
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right, real quick. My
Take your time.
My buddy who got me the job, his sister worked the counter, and she would have a whole booklet of $2 off coupons next to her. So people would come up and pay for a car wash, and they wouldn't know about the coupon that's just sitting right there for them to take, and they would pay, say, $6. She would take the
she'd
$6, ring the coupon up, put the $2 aside,
Brilliant.
and throughout the day, that $2 times 70 car washes that you
That is
forget the
genius.
coupon. That's a little
Well,
cash.
that's great because you can just it checks out on the books. People are using the coupon.
People are using a coupon. They're
Can't
into the
trace it.
coupons.
Usually, what you guys did.
That's the White Glove scam. You think I don't have a scam for everything I've been involved in throughout my entire
No,
life?
I do. That's why I asked.
As soon as you said you were working there with 6 of your friends, you're like, this is definitely a scam going on.
Someone's scamming.
Now, were you splitting it equally, or were you?
No,
the
she was
nah.
taking most of it, but she was the counter person. We were the.
Well, the good news is now your hustles are semi-legitimate. You know what I mean? So
This isn't semi. This is legit. We get
It's
taxed
legit,
for this.
yeah.
I get taxed for FanDuel. I can't even do it through a bookie anymore. Imagine if I was winning $3,000 a week through a goddamn bookie.
Yup.
Tax free, bro.
Yeah.
You've been knocking off your own shirts. I've seen. Like you've been selling them on the side.
Yeah, who do you think Cole Designs is?
The bots.
Shit. Wait. I see this shirt available at Meech sells.
It's weird. How did they get access to the design so quickly?
He's cut the price in
I
half.
took it to a printing shop in Newark, Philly that's a little cheaper.
All right. Well, guys,
I love you
this
guys.
has been a spirited conversation, and,
Yeah.
and like I said, I didn't mean for it to turn into Meech Fest.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry. This will never happen again.
Fink,
honest to
we're
God.
proud of you for your endeavors, and just as long as you keep showing up and staying one of the posse, we're cool with whatever you want to do, man.
Rock,
Whatever
sorry,
you wanna
Talk
dude.
about
Next week you're back in this chair. Dude.
I'm so
out.
sorry.
I'm out
Sorry,
next
man.
week. I'm
do. No
out.
promises. Also, by the way, I said Fink. If they even for a second think about making a Fink tank, we're all coming down there. You understand that,
That's
right?
right.
You think you can beat up Mike Jarrett?
Absolutely.
Wait, are you going? Are you
Might
going
get
back?
a good slap or two.
I hope they bring me back.
It'll be like
I got
Anchorman
to send
3,
another
us
video
versus
I did.
fucking Fox 29.
Keep that going, man.
Hell yeah.
Rolling.
All right. Well, that's gonna
Which
do
side
it.
are you?
It'll be like
Listen,
Anchorman.
which side?
not
Yeah, that's
gonna
what I
do
just
it.
said. Which side are you on?
It will
If it's
never
us
do
versus
it.
Fox 29. You're on your girlfriend's side.
Okay.
Don't even.
Jesse, if they ever stop talking,
I
do you
get
mind
the
if
chance
I
to
get
take
one
her
more
out.
plug in before? Yeah, and
Wait,
whenever.
Before we go, before we go, I just have a question about Blake's bombing story.
You do this all
I don't care.
the time.
You put me in the corner, so I got a question before we
Nobody
leave.
puts rock in the
About your
corner.
bombing story.
Yes.
What was the joke and what was the audience predominantly? I'm just curious. Out of curiosity, I know who QDZ is. And I
Older
know-
people.
Okay.
There was a man in the front row who was asleep, who has no one's
he had
been or
emphysema.
dead.
But hold on.
Yeah.
Your bombing wasn't
Please.
a question of whether they thought you were funny. It was because you couldn't hear them on the TV show. So
Thank-
it's not like you bombed with the crowd
It was.
or a mixture.
I agree with that, but also you've brought it. So those who were awake watching me really enjoyed it.
Okay.
But there were a few who were very
So
much
you
asleep.
say.
Yeah, so
We don't-
I
we
said,
don't know.
and there's no way to confirm or deny it because no one was. You could hear the snores louder than it was. Yeah, I had a lot of snores.
Give us a plug before you go.
You're the best. Thank you. This
Yep.
was so much fun, and thank you. I'm sorry for obviously I love this podcast.
What do you
This is
think
so
about
cool.
doing a comedy show here for people? What do you think? We got.
I
the
think we could
stage.
set this room up actually very well.
Okay,
yeah,
let's do
I would
it.
do it in a
Let's
second.
do it.
So I'm in.
Actually, that's kind of, you got a stage right
Yeah,
here.
well, that's the
You
idea.
probably get like
There's a
30 to 50
stage.
people in here.
You twist these chairs around. Yeah, I think that
got
would
it.
work
We're doing it.
perfectly.
City Pigeons comedy night. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Our comedy club has a 6-drink minimum, not a 2-drink.
It's a 14 drink minimum. If you don't have it, you have to pay for the drinks that you
door is
don't drink.
locked.
Then
Yeah.
they will definitely be laughing.
Exactly. They will be laughing, or they also might be asleep as well. But no, seriously, this was so so much fun. I've been to multiple of you guys your tailgate shows, and it's always so impressive how you set it up.
He's been around for
you're the best. So yeah, I love you
Certainly
guys.
try hard.
Daddy
it's
Longlegs
amazing.
on YouTube.
Daddy Longlegs on YouTube is now up there for forever. So yeah, if it's an excellent special. Blake Wexler, Daddy Longlegs on YouTube, and City Pigeons, Schwarbie shirts.
All that.
I've been checking
Thank
the
you.
Daddy Longlegs stats
Hey.
since we've been sitting here.
Blowing up.
Yeah.
I can tell you, the viewers have gone from this number to this number. There's a certain number.
Okay.
Do you want to know what that number was? This the
Yeah.
difference.
No. Give me the number. Give me the number. Yeah.
Just between us sitting here. I'm not going to tell you what the total number is.
That's perfect.
Looks pretty good.
There's been.
There's a
Are you
K
wanna do,
there.
we're going to do, since we like
I
to
can see a
gamble and we
K.
like to
A
bet.
K's great.
We like to
See a K.
gamble and we like to bet.
No,
Do you
that's
think the
subscribers.
number of
Oh,
viewers
I'm looking at the
since
wrong
we've started
thing.
this podcast has gone over 1,000 or under 1,000? Just from us sitting here for this hour or so.
I'll go over. I'll be positive from. I'll go over.
It's right at about 1,000.
All right.
No,
Okay. Cool.
We got
Perfect.
1.8 over here.
And it's got
I'll take it.
it's got 0 downvotes and 120 upvotes.
I don't know what the hell that means, but I'll
121
take it.
upvotes. I just
If we can
uploaded
get
it.
the guys from the Chili Bets in here
Right,
and
yeah.
put odds on this, I don't even know what the hell I'm saying.
Maybe
at
you
this
should
point.
have them like mid-show come in and give the audience like, hey, take Sam Laporta over 45 and a half yards. Oh!
I like that, and he had David Justice chin. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Like, which is a very handsome look. So handsome, knows his bets. What else do you want? And I'm plugging someone else's
like
thing that I don't
Meech.
understand.
That's like me.
Yeah,
It's like me.
it's just like
Yeah,
me.
handsome knows my bet. Yeah.
Exactly. You're the Ricky
Thank
Lede of
you.
this podcast. I don't even.
All right. Well, Blake, hey, thank you, buddy.
Yo, thank
Hey,
you. It was
good
so
luck
nice
with
meeting you
everything.
finally.
Good
Thank you
luck
so
with
much.
everything. We are going to do a comedy
Likewise.
show here.
I would love that.
It's going to happen.
You're the man, dude.
Thanks, Mike.
Gentlemen,
Thanks,
check
Check
everybody.
out
Joining
his
us as
special,
always.
Daddy Longlegs.
Thank you, Daddy
Blake,
Longlegs.
next time you're here, you're sitting
Hey,
in this spot. I'm
Catch
back
us
up on
next
stage.
time. Mark, you got
switch.
one last thing. You're looking at me like you do. No?
Go Birds.
Just go Birds.
Red
Go
October.
Shout out
Birds.
Die Hard Philly for my
Yeah, we need to talk about the birds.
Yeah,
Just
shout
wanna
out to
talk
Great
about
hoodie.
the birds.
Revenge tour.
All right, Revenge Tour. Let's go. Catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Go Birds.